And I am tired of having to prove myself. I am tired of having to defend my family. I am tired of being overworked, underpaid.
Egypt Sherrod became a beloved face for HGTV fans, captivating audiences with her unique blend of home design expertise and heartfelt family moments on the hit show, Married to Real Estate. Alongside her husband, Mike Jackson, Egypt carved out a space where they seamlessly fused her passion for interior design with their journey as a growing family, all while navigating the challenges and triumphs of everyday life. Known not only for her keen eye for design but also her sharp business acumen, Egypt quickly built a strong, loyal connection with viewers who admired her authenticity and drive. As the couple worked together to transform homes and create dream spaces for their clients, fans tuned in week after week, invested in the behind-the-scenes stories of their personal and professional lives. It was more than just a home makeover show. It was a window into a successful partnership, filled with love, hard work, and determination. But recently, some unexpected news has surfaced about Egypt's show and her family, leaving fans on edge and wondering, what's next for the Sherrod Jackson family? What has led to the sudden shift in Egypt's world, and how will this affect the future of Married to Real Estate? In this special segment, we're diving deep to uncover what really happened to Egypt Sherrod, the twists in her personal journey, and what's to come for this dynamic power couple. Stay with us as we reveal the inside story behind the headlines and what lies ahead for one of HGTV's most cherished stars.
I cried. I was 23 years old when I purchased my first house. My mom came with me. I got the keys, and when I opened the door, not only did I cry, I kissed the hardwood floor. I mean, the reality that I owned a piece of the earth. I want that for everybody.
In May 2025, after the emotional roller coaster of Season 4's finale, Egypt Sherrod and her husband, Mike Jackson, finally found a moment to breathe. They took a long-awaited family vacation in the Mediterranean, a serene escape from their hectic lives. It was a well-earned break after months of juggling the demands of parenting and a grueling work schedule. For once, they could pause the cameras, step away from the spotlight, and simply enjoy each other's company. The sun bathed the coast in golden hues, and the calm sea offered a peace they rarely found at home. However, their quiet escape was short-lived. Midway through the trip, an unexpected message arrived, shattering their tranquility. HGTV had decided not to renew Married to Real Estate for another season. The news was a complete shock. Egypt and Mike stared at the message, reading it over and over again, hoping there had been some mistake. The show had strong ratings, a loyal fan base, and an undeniable spark. Nothing in the air suggested that the end was near. What had begun as a joyful getaway quickly turned into an emotional whirlwind. As they navigated the rest of their vacation, Egypt tried to stay composed, but the weight of the news lingered. The excitement they had felt upon starting their trip seemed distant as they returned home, under a cloud of confusion and disappointment. Back in familiar surroundings, Egypt decided it was time to address the situation head-on. In a heartfelt Instagram post, she shared the news with her followers, thanking the fans, the production team, and the families who had welcomed them into their homes during the show's run. Her message was calm, dignified, and filled with gratitude despite the hurt she must have felt. In the post, Egypt reminded everyone that not all setbacks are what they seem, and that sometimes change paves the way for new beginnings. She ended the message on a hopeful note, keeping the door open for whatever the future might bring. The response was overwhelming. Thousands of comments flooded in, offering support, sharing personal stories, and expressing disbelief that such a positive, successful show could be canceled. Viewers felt connected to Egypt and Mike, and the love poured in, proving just how deeply the couple had touched their audience. The announcement also caught the attention of other HGTV stars. Because the network hadn't issued a public statement, Egypt and Mike were the first to share the news. Personalities like Christina Hall and Ty Pennington expressed their support, both privately and on social media. In the weeks that followed, an insider's perspective offered some clarity. The entertainment industry had been facing rising production costs, with filming delays stretching budgets further than ever before. In an effort to manage expenses, HGTV had shifted its focus to more affordable design content. Despite this explanation, the news was still difficult to digest. For Egypt and Mike, Married to Real Estate represented years of dedication, hard work, and genuine passion. Yet, they chose not to dwell on the loss. Egypt, a woman who often spoke about trusting the timing of life, leaned into that philosophy. She knew that what had been taken away might make room for something even greater. A few months later, an ironic twist of fate arrived. In July 2025, just 2 months after the cancellation, Married to Real Estate was nominated for a Daytime Emmy Award. It was a recognition that felt both surreal and deserved. The show had earned its place among the best, but the honor came only after its end. Egypt and Mike shared the news with their followers in a heartfelt video, smiling as they expressed their gratitude for the nomination. They saw it not just as a recognition of their work, but as a sign that the impact they had made would continue to resonate with audiences. Fans across social media rallied behind them, celebrating the Emmy nod as a well-deserved acknowledgement of their excellence. But just as Egypt began to process this bittersweet victory, another wave of grief hit. A few weeks after the Emmy news, Egypt shared on Instagram that her father had passed away. Her message was simple but heavy with emotion, carrying a pain that words could barely contain. This new loss came at a time when she was still grappling with the aftermath of the show's cancellation. It was a heartache that added weight to the struggles she had already endured. As the days passed, Egypt began to open up about the complicated emotions tied to her father's death. She revealed that she hadn't seen him in over 15 years. Life, she explained, had created a distance that started as space and eventually became years of silence. Despite the passage of time, Egypt had long forgiven her father, but neither of them had taken the step to mend their relationship. With his passing, that opportunity was forever lost, and the realization was a heavy burden. Grief, Egypt learned, doesn't follow a clear path. It comes unexpectedly, hitting hardest when you least anticipate it. For her, it wasn't just the loss of her father, it was the loss of the chance to make things right. It was the regret of not being able to bridge the gap before it was too late. Egypt spoke of how regret grows when the person you wish you could talk to is no longer around. Even though they had been apart for so many years, her father's absence still hurt deeply. What made the pain even sharper was the knowledge that her father had never met her children. She carried that thought as an unshakable weight. In one of her reflections, Egypt shared how grief can teach lessons no one wants to learn. She felt that her father's memory was reaching out to her through her thoughts, as if trying to show her that love doesn't fade, even when it's never expressed. It gave her a little peace, though not closure. It comforted her to believe that in some way her father knew that she had forgiven him. Her post resonated with thousands of people who had experienced similar pain. The comment section was filled with messages of support, with many sharing their own stories of unhealed wounds, estranged relationships, and the complex nature of love and loss. Egypt's honesty gave others the courage to confront their own grief and pain, proving that even in moments of heartbreak, there is healing. As Egypt navigated the grief of losing her father, life threw another challenge her way. In April 2025, an article from the New York Times painted her in a negative light. The article criticized Egypt and Mike, claiming that they didn't do the work shown on Married to Real Estate, portraying the series as little more than a polished reality show rather than a genuine renovation program. For Egypt, this was more than just criticism. It was an attack on her years of hard work, the long hours, and the sacrifices she had made to bring each project to life. On the show, Egypt worked tirelessly on construction sites, dealing with deadlines, overseeing designs, and managing every detail. To have all of that reduced to a misleading narrative was both hurtful and frustrating. But Egypt refused to remain silent. She took to social media, speaking directly to her followers with honesty. She explained that success in television is never as glamorous as it may seem. Behind every beautiful home was a team of hardworking individuals and a whole lot of sweat and sacrifice. To prove her point, Egypt recorded a video at one of her work sites. The footage showed her surrounded by unfinished walls, tools scattered about, and the raw reality of renovation. This was far from the polished look viewers saw on screen. She wanted everyone to understand that Married to Real Estate was built on real effort, not fabricated perfection. Egypt had worked hard to build her reputation, and she wasn't going to let anyone diminish her story. What stung even more was the way the article handled her interview. Egypt and Mike had sat down together to share their journey, talking about their love, their business, and the foundation of their success. They had even posed for photos, expecting that the story would reflect them as a team. But when the article came out, only Egypt's photo was used. Mike was entirely omitted. To Egypt, this felt intentional, a move to erase the man who had been by her side through every step of their journey. The article made it seem like Egypt was the sole driving force behind their success, ignoring the partnership that had made Married to Real Estate work. Egypt shared how that moment reminded her of the power media holds in shaping perceptions. A single headline or photo could change how people see you. She refused to let that happen. Egypt reminded her followers that Married to Real Estate was never about one person. It was about love, teamwork, and trust, both in the home and in their marriage. The support from her fans was overwhelming. Many shared their own experiences of being overlooked despite their hard work, resonating deeply with Egypt's honesty. She showed her followers that actions speak louder than words, and she didn't need to explain her success to anyone. The projects she completed, the clients she helped, and the work she continued to put into her business spoke for itself. Through it all, Egypt remained composed. She knew that silence allowed others to control the narrative, so she chose to keep telling her story. One project, one moment of honesty at a time. Now, Egypt's story is far from over. Despite facing personal and professional challenges, she continues to rise. Her influence extends far beyond television, touching businesses, communities, and the lives of countless individuals who admire her work ethic, grace, and resilience. As we reflect on Egypt's journey, we see a woman who overcame obstacles, turned dreams into reality, and built a legacy that extends far beyond the screen. Her strength and determination have inspired many, and her story is a testament to the power of perseverance, love, and never giving up.